Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. Today we're continuing our look at the cars of the Project A-Spec mod with the 1999 Honda RA099 F1 car. This one is one of two Formula 1 cars in the Project A-Spec mod that did not directly compete in Formula 1. You see, the Honda RA099 was essentially supposed to be a testbed for Honda's eventual return to Formula 1. They saw what Toyota was doing and BMW. Everyone was coming into Formula 1. Honda was, of course, sort of supplying engines with Mugen to Jordan at the time, and they thought, let's build a prototype and, start thinking about doing an assault on the Formula 1 Championship. And so the team was led by Harvey Postlethwaite, who designed Ferraris and Tyrrells, and they did a bunch of tests in this. Jos Verstappen drove it quite a bit, and it was a pretty competitive car, and it was looking pretty good. The chassis were built by Dallara, and then Postlethwaite died, and unfortunately the project sort of stalled from there, and then Honda would sort of build up a new way to enter Formula 1. Of course, they'd go back in with the engine deal, they'd provide BAR and Jordan with engines, and then eventually in the coming years they'd buy BAR and then run that for like 2 years and then leave. So, as typical for a Japanese manufacturer in Formula 1, all of that for absolutely nothing. Anyways, we still have the car in Project A-Spec. Of course, it never had a livery. It was just sort of a white car with Honda logos on it. I think it looks very slick in this sort of no livery design. I kind of like it. Something a little bit different. So, yeah, let's see how this competes against the Formula 1 cars that actually did compete in the championship. Although, admittedly, the lower end ones are the only ones we've had go around so far. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive, 778 horsepower, 600 kilograms. Of course, this car is powered by the Honda engine, which you can also find in the Jordan F1 car. Anyways, to find out how quick the Honda RA099 is, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak version. That car set a time of 25.696. The Honda RA099, I'm not sure. Judging by the speed of the Formula 1 cars, I'm not so sure it's going to beat it. I think it's got to get very close, though. Our current A-Spec leader is the BAR01 Supertech. That's at a time of 26.270. That car's reign at the top of the Project A-Spec pile could be coming to an end today with the Honda RA099, because this car does have more power. The chassis, I think, is probably better than the BARs, and across the line, 26.022. It has done it. Interestingly, I did notice that lap was pretty good, but Sector 3 started to wane a little bit there. I wonder if this car has a few more issues with its straight line speed than the Supertech BAR. I can't remember how much power is in the Supertech BAR. Obviously, I don't know, the BAR chassis wasn't half bad, which is sort of why Honda sort of ended up going to them in 2000, and admittedly it wasn't super successful at first, but in the end they bought the F1 team, of course, so it had to have gone at least somewhat okay for Honda to bother doing that. So yeah, it's an interesting one, no doubt. It is very F1 car-like to drive. Obviously, there's not really a million and one things to say about how these vehicles drive. They drive pretty well. Obviously, they're a bit knife-edge because they're F1 cars. They're not supposed to be easy to drive, are they? They're supposed to, still have to keep you on the toes. They can't be razor sharp. Absolute handling machines. I don't know what that is with the Escudo. Has that beaten the Escudo? It may have done. That is going to slide around. That has beaten the Escudo. Well, there you go. Didn't take long. Project A-Spec is now the owner of the leaderboard, the Honda RA099. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. I thought that lap was okay. It was fine. I think there's a little bit of time in this, but By absolute milliseconds, it has done it. The Honda RA099. A racing car that never was has beaten a car that was probably never that good to begin with in terms of its racing career, but there you go. Yeah, that was fun. I always like blasting the F1 cars around here. I thought it'd be a little bit different to have one of the prototype F1 cars go around as well. You know, a car that's a little bit sort of lesser seen, and that's what I like about Project A-Spec is, you know, you wouldn't really think that much about the Honda RA099, but here it is going around the track, and yeah, I mean, the splits sort of speak for themselves. It was a good lap. It was a really good lap. It just sort of shows you how quick the Escudo is, really, because that was a very good lap for one of the F1 cars. You know, it is 0.6 quicker than the BAR Supertech, but, you know, still, that Escudo just lingers at the top. The good news is, though, for me personally, is this now means that when I do one of these episodes, I don't have to say what the quickest car on the leaderboard is and what the quickest A-Spec car is. I can just say what the quickest car is now. So, there you go. That's definitely saved me a job. Thank you, Honda. A 25.682 will place it into first place. It is fractionally, and it is fractionally quicker than the Suzuki Escudo. It's by, yeah, 0.014, but it is still quicker. Quicker, of course, than the BAR Supertech, and I do think this time is going to have some doing. I think, you know, the top-end F1 cars, the McLarens, the Ferraris, should be able to beat this. But in terms of your midfield runners, I'm not too sure. It is almost over a second clear of the Audi TTL M Edition, which is a very quick car. And it's well over a second clear of the Arrows A20, which was not a very good car. So there you go. Take a bow to the Honda RA099. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.